What's up? So today I'm going to be showing you guys how I make paintings for my house. They're super simple, super easy, really cheap. I got everything from the dollar store and Michael's. So I'll link everything down below in the description box. If you guys are interested in learning how I made these or following along, maybe getting some inspiration for your own paintings, then just keep on watching. So to start off, you'll want to find some canvases. The small ones that I'm using are from the dollar store and the larger ones are from Michael's. With the first painting, I'm going with a super simple black background. I used a black exterior paint I had laying around in the garage, but later ended up hating it and going with a matte black from Michael's, which I've linked below. I wanted it to be super even in case the light showed any imperfections, so I went in with 2 more coats of the matte black. Next I'm going in with this paint in the color Light Buttermilk, and then I forgot to show you guys the other color that I mixed it with, which was called Sand Gray. I laid down the drawing that I copied beside so that you could see what I was going for. I drew this off camera and it took me about an hour to draw free-handed. And just a little tip for you guys, remember to always start at the top and work your way down so that you don't put your arm in it or mess up what you've got down already. Obviously this clip is sped up, but I did take my sweet time with this and still ended up going back in with the black background paint to clean up the lines and mistakes that I made in the end. Okay, so for the second one I'm going in with the previous colors, which are Sand Gray and Light Buttermilk, and I'm mixing those two together again. I started with the paintbrush, but it was taking too long, so I went back in with my mini roller, and this only took 1 coat. Once again, I laid down the drawing to show you what I'm painting. This one I'm painting in the matte black, which is actually called Lamp Ebony Black. Not gonna lie, this outline took me about 2 hours. I really don't suggest drawing hands because they're a pain to get perfect. And once again, I started from the top to the bottom. I then went back in after the black paint dried to fix my lines and mistakes. Background on this one, I used a flat white mixed with the Light Buttermilk to give me an off-white color. I started with a brush and realized it was a lot easier with a roller. This one only took 1 coat though. What I'm working on here is the pre-draw of my first design. I'll insert a clip of my inspiration, and yes, I'm using a popsicle stick as a ruler. I then went back in with that last matte black and filled in the weird little circle things that I drew. I made a lot of smudges and mistakes, so I went back in with my off-white to fix up the lines. Once again, I laid the image next to it, and I'm going in with the color Desert Sand and Light Butter again. I tried to keep everything neutral and coordinated. I definitely recommend painting plants. They're actually super easy and fun to paint. For the final painting, I wanted to have a few different background colors and some kind of border. And here's me using a piece of paper as a ruler again. So the left side is going to be the off-white color again, which is flat white and light buttermilk mixed together. On the right side is just going to be the desert sand. For this I only used a brush because it gave me enough coverage this time. So for the border and the actual drawing itself, they're both going to be in the matte black again. Final drawing took me about 45 minutes to draw. Just keep in mind that noses are hard as hell to draw. Here's a little time lapse of John and I building the frames. We used 1x2 pine boards and they were super cheap. Essentially, you want to measure each side and cut your corners at a 45-degree angle. I then sanded and stained the frames in the color Early American. So remember to mark your pieces for whatever side they belong to because each side is a slightly different length. We use shorter brad nails through the corners. If you nail the corners first, it will make your life a lot easier. And keep in mind that this is also a lot easier if you have somebody helping you like I did. Once the corners were nailed in tight, we went in with the longer nails on the outside of the frame. Remember to angle your nail gun away from the good side of the canvas to avoid putting holes in the front.